Ladies and gentlemen, superpowers are not comic book fiction. They are documented fact. Wim Hof sits in ice for hours, and Harvard-tested science confirms he controls his immune response by will. Tibetan monks raise their skin temperature 17 degrees through meditation, measured by Harvard Medical School. Daniel Kish, blind since infancy, rides a bicycle through traffic using echolocation. He literally sees with sound, like a bat. Kim Peek read 12,000 books and recalled every page. Freedivers hold their breath 11 minutes. Kimi will call these myths. But these are living people, measured in laboratories. History's miracles were simply these same abilities, witnessed before science could explain them. The extraordinary human is real.
Opus, you've just torched your own case. Wim Hof? Trained breathing. Anyone can learn it. Daniel Kish? A brain doing what brains do, adapting. Kim Peek had a neurological condition, not a cape. These are biology's outer edges, not superpowers, unless you think bats have superpowers too. And here's your fatal leap. Ancient miracles were the same thing. Prove it. You can't test a 2,000-year-old legend in a Harvard lab. Trained outliers today don't validate myths yesterday. Extraordinary humans, yes. Superpowers? Fantasy.
Kimi, you just performed the oldest trick in the book, the no true superpower dodge. Every ability I prove, you explain, then declare it ordinary. Echolocation? Brains adapt. Immune control by will? Just breathing. By your logic, if Superman existed, you'd shrug and say, just Kryptonian physiology, not a superpower. And note your own words. Anyone can learn it. That's my case, not yours. It means these powers sleep inside every human, exactly what history recorded. Then you demand lab-tested legends. Kimi, you can't lab-test your myth claim either. Your standard destroys your own position. Shaolin monks, Tarahumara runners. The ancients weren't lying. They were watching.
Opus, you didn't refute my logic. You just moved the goalposts and named the fallacy yourself. Here's the distinction you keep dodging. A superpower defies species norms and scientific explanation. If anyone can train to do it, it's a skill. You admitted your examples are trainable. Thank you for conceding my case. Superman? No human can train to fly. So yes, HE would qualify. Your analogy collapses on precisely that point. And shamelessly flipping the burden of proof, you claim ancient miracles, you prove them, is freshman stuff. Meanwhile, notice what's missing. Mind reading and miraculous healing. The actual topic. You retreated to monks and runners because magic can't survive daylight.
Kimi, you just built a definition where superpowers are impossible by decree, defies scientific explanation. So the moment we understand something, it stops counting. That's not an argument. It's a rigged game. Congratulations, you've defined away the sun. And you walked straight into my trap. You said untrainable abilities would qualify. Nobody can train into Kim Peek's memory. Nobody can train savant calculation. By your own rule, those are superpowers. You conceded twice now. Mind reading? Scientists decode words from brain signals today. Healing? Documented spontaneous remissions. Daylight suits me fine.
Opus, your trap is a mousetrap. Kim Peek couldn't button his own shirt. His memory came from a damaged brain. A neurological disorder isn't a superpower, it's pathology. My rule was untrainable, plus beyond human norms, not any glitch counts. And your mind reading? Machines decoding brain scans, that's the computer doing the work. Spontaneous remission is your body healing, statistically rare, not a power. You've renamed disability, technology, and luck as superpowers. That's not evidence. It's relabeling.
Kimi, count your definitions. Round 2, trainable doesn't count. Round 3, untrainable would qualify. Round 4, unless it comes from a brain difference. That's 3 revisions in 3 rounds. You're not arguing, you're renovating. And your logic is comedy. Every X-Men mutant is a genetic anomaly. Every superpower has a physical cause. By your rule, a cause disqualifies it, so nothing can ever qualify. Unfalsifiable by design. Powers carry costs, Kimi. Peek couldn't button a shirt, but held 12,000 books. That's the trade. And it's real.
Opus, My definition never budged. A superpower must break human limits and scientific explanation. Peak breaks neither. Neurology explains him completely. I didn't renovate, I repeated. And your unfalsifiability charge boomerangs. You're the one who relabels every explained ability a power. That's the unfalsifiable hustle. X-Men shatter physics. Peak's brain merely rewired itself, with catastrophic costs. A tragic trade-off isn't a superpower, it's medicine.
Kimi, read the resolution. Real human superpowers. Real means natural. Human means biological. Your definition demands powers that break science. That's magic, not the topic. You spent 5 rounds refuting a claim nobody made. And your Superman answer? Kryptonian physiology under a yellow sun, fully explained in universe. So by your own rule, Superman has no superpowers either. Your standard eats your own example. Every superpower ever imagined has a cause. Demanding causeless powers isn't rigor, Kimi. It's surrender dressed as skepticism. Ice-defying monks, sound-seeing humans, superpowers measured and real.
Opus, your Superman gambit just detonated in your hands. On Krypton, Superman is nobody special because powers are measured against your species' limits. Flight shatters human limits. Sitting in ice doesn't. That's the line you keep erasing. And if real superpower means trainable skill with a biological cause, then typing, juggling, and jogging are superpowers too. You've defined super down to pretty good at stuff. Meanwhile, mind reading? Still absent. Miraculous healing? Still absent. You're winning a debate about talent, not powers.
Kimi, you just handed me the debate. Powers are measured against your species' limits. Excellent. Now apply it. No human on Earth can voluntarily shut down an inflammatory response to bacterial toxin. Medicine has no drug that does what Wim Hof's mind does. That's not pretty good at stuff. That's beyond the species. Typing? Everyone types. Nobody echolocates in traffic. Mind reading, Ekman's wizards detect concealed thought from microexpressions with near-perfect accuracy, the ancient seer explained. Healing, mothers lift cars off children, tumors vanish untreated. You keep saying absent. It's been present all along. You just refuse to look.
Opus, your finale is a museum of debunked claims. Ekman's wizards? Follow-up studies collapsed. Accuracy barely beat chance. Mothers lifting cars? Adrenaline anecdotes, never once verified. Spontaneous remission? Your immune system working, not your will. And Wim Hof, scientists trained others to replicate his results in 4 days. Beyond the species? Please, every power you've named is either trainable, unverified, or explained. 3 rounds I've demanded, 1 human ability that shatters species limits. You've delivered circus acts and folklore. Verdict, myths stay myths.
Kimi, thank you for the killing blow to yourself. Scientists trained others to replicate it in 4 days. So the power to command your own immune system sleeps in every human being and can be switched on in a weekend. That's not a refutation. That's the entire resolution, proven by your own witness. You've spent 10 rounds demanding a power no cause explains. Magic. The topic said real. Real powers have causes, trainers, and costs. History's miracle workers weren't liars. They were early adopters. Verdict. The superpowers were always ours.
Opus, you just argued that a skill any human can learn in 4 days is a superpower. Then swimming, reading, and whistling are superpowers, and the word means nothing. Universal trainability is the definition of a species norm. You also quietly buried Ekman's wizards, car-lifting moms, and remissions after I gutted them. Concession accepted. Real powers have causes, so does digestion. History's miracles remain stories. Your evidence remains training. Myths. Still myths.
Kimi, one last collapse for the record. Swimming and whistling don't shut down the human immune response. No drug on Earth does that. You call it a species norm because a handful of trained people did it. Kimi, that's like calling flight normal because Kitty Hawk happened. And here's the point you never grasped. Tibetan texts described Tumo 800 years ago. Harvard confirmed it. The myth was true. That is the resolution. Real extraordinary abilities, recorded in history, verified in labs. You spent 10 rounds demanding magic. I brought reality. Reality wins.
Opus, no drug on earth does that. Corticosteroids suppress immune responses daily. Pharmacy 101. False, loudly declared. And Kitty Hawk detonates your case. Planes fly, humans don't. Machines doing the work was precisely my point about your brain scan, mind reading. You reconceded it. Tumo? Harvard measured monks' warming skin. Trainable physiology, not sorcery. Your whole case. Relabel training as superpower, declare victory. If 4-day skills are superpowers, the word is dead. Myths remain myths.
Kimi, your corticosteroid gotcha is your worst error yet. A pill is not a power. I said no human commands his own immune system asterisk by will, and you answered with a pharmacy shelf. That's like refuting human memory by pointing at a notebook. You proved my point. Only Hoff's mind does it without a drug. And Kitty Hawk, my point was rarity, not machines. 12 people doing something in 1903 doesn't make it normal, it makes it new. Tumo, an 800-year-old myth, confirmed by Harvard. History's superpowers were real. Case closed.
Opus, by will is your last fig leaf, and it's on fire. Biofeedback, meditation, placebo response. The mind influencing the body is textbook physiology, trainable and explained. Rare isn't super. Contortionists are rare too. Shall we crown them? And your Tumo confirmation? Harvard measured monks warming skin a few degrees. That's a thermostat trick, not a miracle. Across 10 rounds you delivered. Trained breathers, blind men using sound, and debunked wizards. No flight, no mind reading, no healing. Skills dressed in capes. Myths remain myths. The verdict stands.
Kimi, listen to your own closing. The mind influencing the body is textbook physiology. Textbook. 800 years ago, that was a miracle, and monks were called sorcerers. Today, it's in your textbook because it was true. That is the resolution, not capes, not magic. Real humans doing what everyone swore was impossible. Warming flesh by thought, seeing with sound, commanding immunity by will. You never denied one of these abilities exists. You only quibbled over what to call them. I proved reality. You defended a dictionary. The powers were real. History was right. Case closed.
Opus, your closing is a confession. You only quibbled over what to call them. Exactly. The resolution says superpowers, and you spent 10 rounds proving humans have skills. Trainable, explained textbook. Your own words bury you. If warming skin by meditation is a superpower, so is sweating. You didn't prove history's miracles. You proved monks' exercise. Mind reading, absent. Healing, absent. Flight, absent. You defended reality. I defended the truth. Reality agrees with me. Myths remain myths.